My beloved child, stop here for a moment. Do not scroll past this as though it were another sound in a crowded world. Do not treat this as just another message passing across your eyes while your heart stays guarded and your mind keeps running. The fact that you are hearing these words now is not an accident. This is not coincidence. This is not random timing. This is a holy interruption before peace slips further away. I am stopping you gently because there is something quietly taking from you, not loudly, not always obviously, not in a way everyone around you can see. It has been moving beneath your responsible behavior, beneath your long answers, beneath your forced smile, beneath the words, "I am fine." When your soul has been carrying more than I asked you to carry, I am not interrupting you to frighten you. I am not interrupting you to condemn you. I am interrupting you because I love you too much to let a hidden habit keep stealing your peace while you call it maturity. I have seen you wake up tired, even after your body rested. I have seen you sit in quiet rooms with tension in your chest and no clear reason for the weight. I have seen you replay conversations long after they ended, searching for what you should have said, what they meant, what might happen next, what you need to fix before anyone is disappointed. I have seen you reach for your phone before you reach for prayer, not because you do not love me, but because fear has trained your attention to check for danger before you come to me for peace. I have seen you smile while carrying unrest. I have seen you serve while feeling stretched thin. I have seen you answer quickly while your spirit whispers, "I need to stop." Listen to me gently. That whisper is not weakness. That unrest is not proof that you are failing. That heaviness is not punishment. It is mercy. It is mercy calling you back before the pattern becomes another season of exhaustion. It is mercy placing a hand on your shoulder before you take another step deeper into a cycle I never assigned to you. You are not being exposed for shame. You are being awakened for freedom. The hidden habit I am bringing into the light is not always loud sin. Sometimes it looks like care. Sometimes it sounds like wisdom. Sometimes it hides inside planning, helping, checking, fixing, explaining, proving, pleasing, and preparing for every possible outcome. Sometimes the thing draining your peace is the quiet pattern of carrying what I asked you to surrender, rehearsing what I asked you to release, reaching for control where I asked you to trust, pleasing people where I asked you to obey, and proving your worth where I already called you mine. My child, not every burden that feels urgent is yours. Not every thought that demands attention deserves agreement. Not every fear that knocks at the door should be invited into your mind. Your attention is a gate, and peace leaks when fear is allowed to come in and rearrange the furniture of your heart. I am not saying this to make you afraid of yourself. I am saying this so you can finally see what has been happening, without calling it your personality, your duty, or your normal way of life. If this message is already naming the battle you could not explain, pause and acknowledge it. Let your heart say, "This is speaking to me." Like this message as a small act of agreement with the truth being uncovered, and subscribe for prayer-led encouragement that keeps calling you back to my peace. Stay with the whole message, because I will not rush your healing. I will reveal the freedom step gently. I will show you how to interrupt the habit before it becomes another cycle. But before the habit can be broken, it must first be named without fear. So, breathe, my beloved child. Stay here. Let me show you what has been hiding behind responsibility, and let me bring your peace back into the light. My beloved child, the habit hiding behind responsibility is this. You have learned to manage unrest instead of surrendering it. You have learned to hold the trembling thing in your own hands, dress it in reasonable language, and call it wisdom. You have learned to feel fear rise inside you and immediately begin working, explaining, planning, checking, fixing, answering, rehearsing, and reaching for something you can control. But I am showing you now that control cannot heal what surrender was meant to release. Listen to me gently. Not everything you call wisdom is trust. Not everything you call preparation is peace. Not everything you call caring is obedience. Not everything you call being strong is strength. Sometimes it is fear wearing the clothing of maturity. Sometimes it is anxiety speaking in the voice of responsibility. Sometimes it is an old wound trying to protect you from being disappointed again. And because it looks so useful, because it looks so responsible, because people may even praise you for being the one who thinks ahead, carries more, notices everything, and keeps everyone steady, You stopped recognizing how much of your inner life was being ruled by unrest. I see the way it happens in you. You pray, but then you keep thinking as though the burden never left your hands. You say, God, I trust you. But then you rehearse the outcome again and again, searching for a way to make sure nothing goes wrong. You give me the name, the need, the situation, the conversation, the child, the relationship, the bill, the decision, the wound, and then, before peace can settle, you take it back with your thoughts. You call it processing. You call it being careful. You call it caring deeply. But my child, if prayer ends and panic still gets the final word, I am inviting you to notice what has been happening beneath the surface. You check for reassurance, not because you are foolish, but because fear has trained you to look for safety and quick confirmations. You look for the message, the tone, the response, the sign, the facial expression, the update, the approval, the proof that things are still okay. You rehearse old wounds, not because you want to stay hurt, but because some part of you believes that if you remember every detail, you can prevent the pain from returning. You answer every demand, not because I asked you to, but because guilt has taught you that delay feels dangerous. You apologize for boundaries before anyone even understands them, because you have mistaken someone else's discomfort for your disobedience. You carry outcomes that belong to me, because you are afraid that if you loosen your grip, everything will fall apart. But I am not condemning you for this. I am uncovering it with tenderness. I know why the habit became familiar. I know when you first learned to scan the room, measure the mood, soften your words, prepare for disappointment, and keep yourself ready for what might happen next. I know the seasons where being alert felt like survival. I know the moments when controlling what you could control seemed to be the only way to stay standing. I saw the younger places in you that learned. If I think far enough ahead, maybe I will be safe. If I keep everyone happy, maybe I will not be left. If I never need too much, maybe I will not be rejected. If I carry it all, maybe nothing will break. My child, what protected you in survival cannot lead you into freedom. What helped you endure a storm cannot become the house you live in forever. A shield is not a home. A warning system is not a shepherd. Constant alertness is not discernment. And the heaviness you feel when you keep carrying all of this is not proof that you are failing me. It is a signal that you are carrying something outside grace. It is mercy pressing gently against the places where fear has been allowed to rule. It is my love saying, put this down before it shapes another day. Put this down before it steals another night. Put this down before you mistake exhaustion for devotion. Do not despise the uneasiness that rises when you are about to repeat the old pattern. That uneasiness is not always danger. Sometimes it is deliverance beginning. Sometimes it is my spirit making you aware of a weight that was never meant to stay in your hands. Sometimes the discomfort you want to silence is the very alarm I am using to wake you from agreement with fear. That alarm is not shame, it is mercy. That heaviness is not rejection, it is invitation. That tiredness is not your identity. It is evidence that your soul was not designed to live under false responsibility. So let the truth come into the open. The habit is not simply that you care too much. The habit is that you try to control, carry, and rehearse what I am asking you to surrender. You are not losing peace randomly. Peace is leaking through a repeated inner agreement, through the quiet yes you give to fear when it says, you must handle this alone. And now that I have named it, I will teach you how to stop giving your attention, your agreement, and your strength to what I never asked you to carry. My beloved child, peace does not begin leaking only when circumstances become difficult. Peace begins leaking when your attention starts bowing to what fear is saying. Peace is not guarded by perfect conditions. Peace is guarded by trust, by obedience, by surrendered attention, by holy rest, by the quiet decision to let me be God where you have been trying to be the answer. The peace I give you is not fragile because the world is unstable. It becomes exposed when you keep opening the door to thoughts, pressures, and burdens I never sent. Look closely at the small openings. The first thought in the morning, before your feet touch the floor, when your mind reaches for the problem, before it reaches for me. The unchecked message that begins to rule your mood before you have even read it. The remembered offense that returns while you are washing dishes, driving, working, lying still, trying to pray. The imagined disaster that has not happened, but already has permission to drain your strength. The need to be understood by everyone. approved by everyone, defended before everyone, explained to everyone, as though your peace cannot stand unless no one misreads you. My child, this is where peace begins to leak in secret, not always in one great collapse, but through small agreements repeated quietly. A thought comes, and you give it a chair. A fear knocks, and you build it a room. An accusation rises, and you begin answering it as though it came from my voice. A pressure arrives, and before you ask me whether it is yours, you have already given it your yes. Not every thought deserves a conversation. Not every fear deserves a plan. Not every accusation deserves agreement. Not every pressure deserves a yes. Not every urgent thing is holy. Not every heavy thing is assigned. Not every open door is obedience. I see the signs in your body before you name them with your mouth. The tightness in your chest, the shallow breathing, the sudden irritability that makes you wonder why you reacted so strongly, the mental fog that settles over simple things, the spiritual numbness that makes prayer feel distant, even though I have not moved away from you, the inability to be still without reaching for distraction, because stillness begins to reveal the weight you have been carrying. I see the way your shoulders rise, the way your jaw tightens, the way your mind keeps circling the same place, trying to solve what I asked you to cast upon me. Listen gently. Your body is not betraying you. It is telling the truth about the load. Your soul was not created to carry tomorrow, yesterday, everyone's opinion, every possible outcome, every hidden motive, every emotional reaction, every unfinished conversation, and every fear of what could go wrong. I did not design you to live braced. I did not call you to breathe shallowly under the name of responsibility. I did not give you a yoke that crushes you while calling it love. My yoke is easy. My burden is light. When the weight becomes crushing, pause and ask, did my Father place this on me, or did fear hand it to me? There is an unseen battle here, but do not become afraid. The enemy often attacks your peace by convincing you that rest must wait until everything is solved. He whispers, you cannot stop yet, you cannot sleep yet, you cannot breathe yet, you cannot be okay yet, you must fix it all first. But I whisper differently. I call you close before the answer is visible. I speak peace while the storm is still learning to be quiet. I guard your heart and mind when you bring the cares to me instead of carrying them in circles. I meet exhausted prophets not with accusation, but with gentleness, bread, rest, and the still small voice that comes after the noise. So do not call the leak normal. Do not call the numbness maturity. Do not call the endless rehearsing wisdom. Peace leaks when you keep giving attention, agreement, and energy to what I never asked you to carry. And now that you can see the openings, I am taking you deeper, not to shame you, but to free you. Beneath the habit is a lie. Beneath the overthinking, the controlling, the pleasing, the rehearsing, and the carrying is one fear-rooted belief that has been speaking like truth. It says you are unsafe unless you control it. It says peace depends on your grip. And, my child, I am about to uncover that lie so trust can begin to rise where control has been ruling. My beloved child, the lie beneath the habit is simple, but it has sounded powerful inside you. It says, if I do not manage this, it will fall apart. If I do not fix this, it will break beyond repair. If I do not monitor every mood, every silence, every shift, every delay, every tone, every unanswered message, something will happen that I should have prevented. It says, if I do not explain myself perfectly, I will be misunderstood. If I do not hold everyone together, someone will leave. If I do not stay alert, I will be caught unprepared. If I do not control what I can, I will not be safe. Listen gently. That voice has been speaking like wisdom, but it is not my peace. It has been dressing itself in carefulness, responsibility, maturity, and love, but its root is fear. It has trained you to believe that peace depends on your grip instead of my goodness. It has told you that if your hands loosen, everything will collapse. But my child, I am not asking you to release because I do not care what happens. I am asking you to release because I am God, and you were never created to carry the weight of being me. I saw when control first felt like safety. I saw when silence made you study every mood and every door. I saw when you learned to listen for footsteps, changes in tone, hidden disappointment, anger under quiet words, distance in someone's face, rejection before it was spoken. I saw the room where you stopped resting and started watching. I saw the moment your heart began to believe that if you could just anticipate enough, soften enough, fix enough, prepare enough, and stay useful enough, maybe pain would not reach you the same way again. I was there when vigilance became your shield. I was there when being careful felt like survival. I was there when your nervous system learned what your spirit was never meant to carry. But hear me with tenderness. This is not your personality. This is a place in your heart that learned to survive without resting. This is not who you are. This is what fear trained you to do. You are not controlling because you are beyond help. You are not overthinking because you are faithless. You are not exhausted because you are weak. You are tired because a part of you has been standing guard at doors I never told you to guard, watching storms I never told you to manage, and carrying outcomes I never placed in your hands. There is a difference between discernment and fear-driven control. Discernment listens to me and leads you into obedience. Fear listens to danger and leads you into striving. Discernment brings clarity, even when the instruction is hard. Fear brings urgency, confusion, and a desperate need to do something now. Discernment may warn you, but it will not enslave you. Discernment may tell you to set a boundary. Wait, speak, be silent, leave, stay, pray, or rest. But it will not demand that you become the savior of every situation. Fear-driven control keeps you circling the same thought until your peace is gone and your body is weary. My spirit leads, fear chases. My voice steadies, fear scatters. My wisdom gives light, fear fills the room with shadows. And I know how noble the habit can look. You are available. You check on everyone. You think ahead. You try not to disappoint. You prepare for every outcome. You carry the emotional temperature of the room. You remember details others forget. You step in before anyone asks. You apologize first. You explain more than necessary. You make yourself easy to need and difficult to question. People may have called you dependable, strong, thoughtful, selfless, mature. And sometimes love was present in those actions. But not every action that looks loving is free. Not every sacrifice is obedience. Not every yes comes from grace. Not every burden that makes you look strong is mine. My child, you are not the savior of your family. You are not the keeper of every emotion. You are not the manager of every consequence. You are not the healer of every wound. You are not responsible for making everyone understand, everyone approve, everyone calm down, everyone choose wisely, everyone stay close, everyone be whole. You can love deeply without taking my throne. You can care without controlling. You can help without becoming the source. You can pray without rehearsing. You can be faithful without carrying what belongs to me. I am not exposing this lie to take something from you. I am exposing it to return you to yourself. Control promised safety, but it gave you exhaustion. Rehearsing promised preparation, but it gave you confusion. Pleasing promised peace, but it made your soul live under the fear of people. Carrying everything promised protection, but it kept you from resting in my hands. The lie said, hold tighter and you will be safe. I am saying, come closer and you will be held. So when the old fear rises and says, you cannot stop watching, pause. When it says, you must fix this before you rest, pause. When it says, you must answer now or they will be upset, pause. When it says, you must keep everyone okay, pause. Let my truth answer before your habit does. Say within your heart, my peace does not depend on my control. My safety is not in my grip. My Father is holding what I cannot hold. And now that the lie is exposed, I will begin to separate what is truly yours from what fear handed you. I will show you the difference between love and false responsibility, between obedience and guilt, between compassion and control, between an assignment from me and a burden you picked up because you were afraid to disappoint someone. I am not only naming the root, I am preparing to lift the weight, because when the lie loses its voice, the false assignments begin to lose their power. My beloved child, many of you are not simply tired because life has required effort. You are tired because you have been working under assignments I never gave you. You are tired from keeping everyone pleased. You are tired from preventing conflict at any cost. You are tired from proving your worth through usefulness. You are tired from rescuing people from consequences I was trying to use to teach them. You are tired from staying connected to voices, places, patterns, and expectations that drain your soul, while fear tells you that leaving, limiting, or pausing would be unloving. Listen gently. A burden can look noble and still not be yours. A responsibility can look urgent and still not be assigned. A need can be real and still not be yours to carry in your own strength. Not every cry is your command. Not every disappointment is your failure. Not every uncomfortable conversation is a sign that you did something wrong. Not every person who needs you is someone I have called you to be ruled by. My child, you have confused being needed with being called. You have confused being available with being obedient. You have confused guilt with guidance. I know why this became difficult for you to separate. You thought love meant never letting anyone feel pain. You thought peace meant keeping the room calm, even if your own heart was breaking quietly. You thought kindness meant saying yes before you had time to pray. You thought faithfulness meant staying connected to what kept pulling you away from me. You thought if you were useful enough, gentle enough, available enough, forgiving enough, and silent enough, then maybe no one would leave, no one would be angry, no one would misunderstand you, and no one would call you selfish. But love does not require self-erasure. Love does not require you to disappear so another person never feels discomfort. Love does not require you to become the cushion between people and every consequence of their choices. Love does not require you to keep opening a door I am asking you to guard. Peace does not mean abandoning people. Peace means obeying me without being ruled by fear. Peace means loving with open hands instead of chained hands. Peace means praying without controlling, helping without rescuing, speaking without striving, staying silent without resentment, and stepping back when I say, "This is mine now." Some doors need limits, some voices need distance, some conversations need prayer before response, some requests need a holy no, some relationships need a slower pace, some patterns need to lose access to your attention. This is not selfishness, this is protection. I am not teaching you boundaries so you can become cold. I am teaching you boundaries so your heart can remain soft without remaining unguarded. A guarded heart in my hands is not a hardened heart. A boundary led by my spirit is not rejection. It is obedience with wisdom. It is love without fear. It is peace, refusing to be stolen by what I did not assign. The hidden habit feeds on false responsibility, because false responsibility gives you the illusion of control. It tells you, if you keep answering, maybe they will stay pleased. If you keep rescuing, maybe nothing will fall apart. If you keep explaining, maybe you will never be misunderstood. If you keep giving beyond grace, maybe you will finally feel worthy. But my child, the habit always takes more than it gives. It borrows your strength and pays you with anxiety. It uses your compassion and leaves you resentful. It takes your attention from my voice and makes fear sound like urgency. So, begin to release what looked loving but was never assigned by me. Release the need to manage every reaction. Release the demand to keep everyone comfortable. Release the pressure to be endlessly useful. Release the fear that boundaries make you unkind. Release the burden of being the one who always understands, always adjusts, always absorbs, always returns first, always carries the emotional weight. You can be loving and still be limited. You can be faithful and still be unavailable for fear. You can be compassionate and still let me be God. At first, this release may feel uncomfortable. Do not call that discomfort disobedience. The old cycle will protest, guilt will knock, fear will speak. The habit will try to call you back into the familiar path, but stay close to me. What feels strange at first may be freedom beginning. What feels like loss may be peace returning. And as you release false assignments, I will show you the old cycle that keeps calling you back, so you can recognize its voice before it pulls you into exhaustion again. My beloved child, the old cycle has been calling you back through familiar doors. It does not always announce itself as rebellion. It does not always look like panic at first. Sometimes it begins with one small trigger, a tone that feels different, a delay that feels dangerous, a message that seems shorter than usual, a silence you do not understand, a request you feel afraid to refuse, a memory that touches an old wound, a look on someone's face, a thought in the middle of the night. And before you have brought it to me, before you have breathed, before you have asked what is true, fear begins to speak. Then fear becomes overthinking. You reread the message again. You examine the punctuation, the timing, the last word, the missing warmth, the space between what was said and what you hoped would be said. You check who viewed something. You wonder why they did not respond. you rehearse the argument that has not happened. You imagine rejection before anyone has rejected you. You prepare defenses for accusations no one has spoken. You replay what you said yesterday, then what they said last week, then what might happen tomorrow, and your mind begins building a whole room around one uncertain thing. Then the habit reaches for control. You answer quickly because waiting feels unsafe. You explain too much because being misunderstood feels unbearable. You say yes while resentment begins to grow quietly inside you. You check again. You ask again. You apologize again. You adjust your tone again. You step in again. You try to prevent disappointment, prevent distance, prevent conflict, prevent someone else's discomfort from becoming your fault. For a moment, control gives you relief. For a moment, your chest loosens because you did something. For a moment, fear says, "See, now you are safer." But listen gently. That relief is not peace. It is the temporary quiet that comes when fear gets fed. The habit survives because it rewards you quickly, but it charges you slowly. It gives you a brief feeling of control while stealing long-term rest. It quiets the alarm for a moment, then teaches the alarm to come back louder next time. It says, "Just do this one thing and you will feel better." But after you do it, you are tired, heavy, resentful, ashamed, and still unsure. Then guilt comes. You feel guilty for needing reassurance, guilty for reacting, guilty for saying yes, guilty for feeling resentful, guilty for not trusting me more. And because guilt feels painful, you reach for the same habit again, hoping this time it will finally make you feel settled. My beloved child, I am not exposing this to embarrass you. I am showing you the change so you can stop calling it your normal life. I am not naming the cycle to condemn you. I am naming it so you can see where fear enters, where agreement begins, where your peace is traded, and where your strength is drained. What remains hidden keeps repeating. What is brought into my light can begin to lose its power. Do not ignore the numbness that comes after constant reacting. When your soul is always answering fear, it becomes harder to hear my still voice. When your mind is always rehearsing, it becomes harder to receive my wisdom. When your attention is always scanning for danger, it becomes harder to rest in my presence. Spiritual numbness is not proof that I have moved away. It is often a warning that your inner life has been crowded by reactions, pressures, imagined outcomes, and burdens I never asked you to carry. My voice has not become weak. Your peace has been covered by noise. But hear me clearly. This cycle is not stronger than my spirit within you. The pattern may be familiar, but it is not your destiny. The trigger may come again, but it does not have to become the same response. Fear may knock again, but you do not have to open the door and prepare a room. The thought may rise again, but you do not have to sit with it until it becomes a storm. The pressure may return, but you do not have to hand it your yes before you have heard from me. You are not trapped because you notice the pattern. Noticing is part of freedom. You are not failing because you can see how often you return to the same path. Seeing is part of healing. The old cycle loses power when you recognize the repeated road from fear to control to exhaustion. Once you see the road, you can stop walking it blindly. Once you know the voice, you can pause before obeying it. Once you understand the reward, you can refuse the trap hidden inside it. So now, my child, the next step is not to fight the whole cycle after it has already carried you into exhaustion. The next step is to interrupt it before fear becomes action, before the quick reply, before the extra explanation, before the anxious checking, before the resentful yes, before the imagined rejection becomes your truth. I will teach you the sacred pause that breaks the habit's momentum, because one holy pause with me can become the doorway where peace begins to return. My beloved child, pause before you respond, pause before you reach, pause before you check again, pause before you explain yourself one more time to a fear that will never be satisfied. Pause before you defend against an accusation that has not been brought into my light. Pause before you rehearse the conversation until your body feels as though it has already lived through the pain. This pause is not weakness. This pause is not avoidance. This pause is not delay born from confusion. This pause can become obedience. One breath with me before one reaction from fear can become the doorway where grace interrupts what used to carry you away. Do not despise the smallness of it. Fear will tell you that a pause is not enough. Fear will say, hurry, prove, fix, answer, explain, check, make sure. Control it before it becomes worse. Fear shouts as though urgency is the same as wisdom. Fear rushes you because it knows that if you become still, you may hear me. Fear pushes you because it knows that if you breathe, you may notice the demand beneath the pressure. But grace whispers differently. Grace says, "Come close, wait, listen, release. Let me speak before you obey the alarm. Let my peace rule before your fear makes a decision." So when the old pull rises, do something simple and holy. Put the phone down, move your hand away from what keeps feeding the cycle. Take one slow breath, then another. Open your hands, even if your heart still feels tight. Whisper, "Father, I surrender this before I act from it." Ask, "What is fear demanding from me right now?" Then ask, "What is peace saying?" Do not rush past those questions. Let them separate the voices inside you. Fear may demand an immediate reply. Peace may say, "Wait." Fear may demand another explanation. Peace may say, "Be still." Fear may demand that you carry the outcome. Peace may say, "Cast the care on me before you touch it again." My child, there is power in bringing the care to me before acting from the care. There is freedom in letting your soul become still before your mouth opens, before your fingers type, before your mind builds another storm. I did not command stillness because I wanted to shame your movement. I invite you into stillness because stillness makes room for trust. I did not offer you my yoke so you could keep dragging the old weight while saying my name. I gave you a lighter yoke. I gave you peace that can rule, not merely visit. I gave you my presence as a shelter before the answer appears. One paused reply can begin breaking years of unrest. One unanswered accusation can weaken an old chain. One surrendered thought can stop a storm from becoming a room you live in all day. One breath before control can become the place where you remember you are not alone. One open hand can preach to your nervous system that you are not the savior, not the source, not the keeper of every outcome. Do not call this too small. Seeds are small. Doors turn on small hinges. A life can begin to change when one moment that used to belong to fear is given back to me. And when you pause, do not use the pause to rehearse more quietly. Use it to return. Return your attention. Return your breath. Return the burden. Return the imagined outcome. Return the need to be understood, chosen, approved, defended, or reassured. Let the pause become an altar, not a waiting room for anxiety. Lay the care down before you decide what to do with it. Let me show you whether to speak or be silent, answer or wait, step closer or step back, continue or close the door. Because this holy pause is where momentum breaks. Fear cannot carry you as quickly when you stop agreeing with its pace. The hidden habit cannot become the same old cycle when you bring the first movement into my presence. And in that space, my child, I will begin to teach you what peace must protect. I will show you which door must close, which access must end, which conversation needs a boundary, and which pressure can no longer rule your yes. The pause is the beginning. The boundary will guard what I am healing. My beloved child, when peace begins to return, protect it. Do not treat restored peace as something that can remain unguarded while the same old doors stay open. I am healing places in you that fear has touched for years, and the hidden habit will look for familiar access points. It will not always come loudly. It may come through one notification, one late-night conversation, one comparison, one old thread, one familiar voice, one argument that pulls you back into proving, one responsibility that was never yours, but still knows how to call your name. Listen gently. Peace is a gift, but it must also be guarded, not guarded in panic, guarded in wisdom, guarded in obedience, guarded with the quiet strength of someone who has learned that not everything deserves access to their mind, their home, their evening, their phone, their body, their attention, their yes. My child, a boundary is not hatred. A boundary is a fence around what I am healing in you. It is not a wall built from bitterness. It is not revenge. It is not coldness. It is not punishment. It is protection around tender ground. There are places where fear has been entering too easily. Look at your digital habits. Look at what you check when you feel insecure. Look at what you scroll when you feel empty. Look at the names, images, updates, messages, and comparisons that pull your heart out of rest and into measuring, wondering, rehearsing, and aching. Your attention is a gate. Do not keep handing the key to what disturbs your peace, and then wonder why your spirit feels crowded. Move the device away when it becomes an altar to anxiety. Stop returning to the page that awakens comparison. Stop reading the thread that keeps the wound fresh. Stop checking the door I told you to close. Look at the late-night conversations that make your soul tired. Some conversations do not become wiser because they happen at midnight. Some explanations become longer because fear is driving them, not truth. Some emotional rooms are not meant for you to enter when your body is weary and your discernment is low. There is a time to speak, and there is a time to be silent. There is a time to answer, and there is a time to sleep. Rest is not neglect. Sometimes the most obedient thing you can do is not reply immediately. Sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is let the phone remain still while your heart returns to me. Look at emotional rescuing. You were not created to carry another adult's responsibility as though their choices are your assignment. You can love them, you can pray, you can speak truth when I lead you, but you cannot become their conscience, their savior, their constant cushion, their emotional repairer, their excuse, their escape from consequences. Do not carry what I am using to teach them. Do not interrupt every discomfort because you fear being called unloving. Some discomfort is not danger. Some disappointment is not your failure. Some consequences are not cruelty. Some distance is obedience. Look at gossip loops, complaint loops, and conversations that keep your nervous system alert. If every time you leave a conversation your heart feels stirred, suspicious, heavy, bitter, afraid, or superior, pay attention. Not every circle is safe for your healing. Not every voice that has access to your ear deserves access to your agreement. Gossip can feel like connection while it trains your spirit to live suspiciously. Comparison can feel like awareness while it slowly steals gratitude. Draining relationships can feel familiar while they keep you in a state of defense. Environments can look normal and still keep your body braced for impact. My child, some people benefited from your lack of peace. Hear that without anger. Hear it with clarity. Some benefited from your immediate replies, your endless explanations, your fear of disappointing them, your quick apologies, your open door, your inability to say no, your habit of absorbing tension so they would not have to face it. So when you begin to set boundaries, do not be surprised if resistance comes. Their resistance does not mean the boundary is wrong. Their discomfort does not mean you are disobeying me. Their accusation does not mean you are unloving. Sometimes the first sign that a boundary is necessary is how strongly fear, guilt, or control reacts when you set it. Do not explain yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding. Do not enter every argument just because your name was mentioned. Do not return to every emotional demand just because guilt knocked loudly. Do not keep proving your heart to someone who uses your tenderness as a handle. Obedience may look quiet. It may look like closing the app. It may look like ending the conversation before it becomes a storm. It may look like saying, "I cannot carry this for you." It may look like waiting before responding. It may look like refusing to rehearse what I already told you to surrender. It may look like letting someone be upset while you remain faithful to what I said. Stop feeding the thought. Stop reopening the wound. Stop checking the door I told you to close. Stop giving fear fresh evidence to build another storm. Stop asking the old place to give you new peace. Stop letting the same voice pull you out of rest and then calling the unrest discernment. If I told you to release it, do not keep visiting it in secret. If I told you to step back, do not keep leaning in through curiosity. If I told you to wait, do not let anxiety dress itself as obedience and rush ahead. I am not asking you to become hard. I am teaching you how to remain whole. I am not asking you to stop loving. I am teaching you how to love without surrendering your peace to fear. A soft heart needs wise gates. A healed place needs protection while strength is forming. A new pattern needs room to grow without the old cycle trampling it again. So guard what I am healing. Guard your mornings. Guard your nights. Guard your attention. Guard your yes. Guard the quiet place where my voice is becoming clearer again. And when guilt tries to stand outside the boundary and call your name, do not bow to it. Come close to me. Let me steady you. Because once the boundary is set, my child, you must learn something. Fear never taught you. You must learn to rest without apologizing for being human. My beloved child, rest is not your apology for being weak. Rest is not what you do after you have finally proven enough. Rest is not a reward for perfect performance, perfect faith, perfect productivity or perfect understanding. Rest is obedience. Rest is trust with your body. Rest is surrender practiced in your breath. Rest is what happens when you stop believing that the world will fall apart if your hands are not on every piece. You have felt guilty for being tired. You have felt guilty for needing quiet. You have felt guilty for not answering quickly, not fixing immediately, not producing constantly, not holding everyone together, not being available every time someone reaches. You have called yourself lazy when your soul was weary. You have called yourself selfish when your heart was overextended. You have called yourself unspiritual because you could not pray with beautiful words, because you fell asleep with tears on your face, because you sat in silence and had nothing left to say. Listen to me gently. Exhaustion is not faithfulness. Constant strain is not holiness. Burning yourself down is not proof that you love me. I did not form you to live as though your value depends on how much you can carry without breaking. I did not call you to confuse depletion with devotion. I do not receive your collapse as worship when fear was the one demanding the sacrifice. My yoke is easy. My burden is light. If what you are carrying keeps crushing your breath, stealing your sleep, hardening your heart, and making you resent the very people you are trying to love, then come close and let me show you what was never yours. The hidden habit has made rest feel dangerous because you have believed everything depends on you. If you stop, who will fix it? If you sleep, what will happen while you are not watching? If you do not answer, who will be upset? If you do not rehearse tomorrow, how will you be prepared? If you do not hold the outcome in your mind, how will it stay together? My child, that is not wisdom. That is fear dressed in responsibility. That is control pretending to be care. That is the old agreement whispering. You are only safe when you are managing everything. But I am teaching you another way. Sleep without rehearsing tomorrow. Let the night be night. Let your body lie down without dragging every unfinished concern into the dark. Sit in silence without checking the phone to see who needs you, who noticed you, who ignored you, who changed their tone, who might require a response. Pray without performing. Bring me the plain words. Bring me the tired words. Bring me the wordless ache. Breathe without earning permission. You do not have to justify every inhale. You do not have to turn every quiet moment into proof that you are still useful. Do you remember my servant who ran into the wilderness exhausted, afraid, and ready to give up? I did not meet him first with a lecture. I did not demand a strategy from his depleted soul. I gave him sleep. I gave him food. I let his body receive mercy before his ears received the next instruction. Then I came not in the noise he expected, but in the gentle whisper. Learn this from me. Sometimes the next word you are begging for will be heard after you rest, not before. Sometimes clarity comes when your nervous system is no longer being driven by fear. Sometimes the holy thing is to eat, sleep, breathe, and let me remind you that you are not abandoned because you are human. My beloved child, stop apologizing for the limits I built into you. Limits are not failure. Limits are invitations to trust. Limits are invitations to trust. You were never meant to be everywhere, answer everything, know everything, prevent everything, and carry everyone. You are dust held by my breath. You are beloved, not because you never tire, but because you are mine. You mattered before you carried anything. You were loved before you produced anything. You were chosen before anyone needed you. So rest, not in denial, not in laziness, not in escape. Rest in obedience. Rest with open hands. Rest as a declaration that I am God and you are not. Rest as warfare against the lie that peace must be earned through constant control. And as you rest, I will begin to uncover the deeper agreement that made fear feel necessary. Because peace can return through the pause, and peace can be guarded by boundaries. But peace cannot stay where secret agreements remain. My beloved child, now we must go beneath the habit. Not only what you do, but what you agreed to believe. Not only the checking, the rehearsing, the pleasing, the carrying, the controlling, but the silent sentence under it, the hidden rule, the inward vow, the agreement you may not remember making, but have been obeying for years. Listen gently. Some habits are not broken by willpower alone because they are being fed by an agreement in the heart. You can try harder, delete the app, hold your tongue, make a plan, set the boundary, and still feel the old pull if something inside you still believes fear is protecting you. The branch can be cut back for a season, but if the root remains hidden, It will keep searching for new ways to grow. I am not only dealing with the branch, I am touching the root. What did fear teach you to say? I must keep watching. I must keep proving. I must keep everyone close. I must not disappoint. I must not let go. I must not be misunderstood. I must not need too much. I must not rest until everything is settled. I must not trust until I can see the outcome. I must not say no because love might leave. I must not release control because something terrible may happen if my hands are not on it. My child, bring me that agreement. Bring me the vow you made when you were tired. Bring me the rule you created when you were hurt. Bring me the promise you made to never be caught off guard again. Bring me the sentence you formed in pain and then called wisdom. Bring me the inner contract that said, I will never trust like that again. I will never need help again. I will never be vulnerable again. I will never let anyone see how deeply I feel. I will never stop managing, because if I stop managing, I will not be safe. I know where it began. I know the moment disappointment became a teacher. I know the season when silence felt like abandonment. I know the relationship that trained you to monitor every shift in tone. I know the place where love felt uncertain, so control began to feel necessary. I know the time you were blamed for what was not yours, so you began carrying everyone's mood as though peace depended on you. I know the door that closed without warning, the betrayal that made you suspicious, the rejection that made you perform, the loss that made you cling. But hear me clearly. What protected you in survival cannot lead you into freedom. What helped you endure a painful season cannot become the lord of your whole life. Fear may have offered you a system, but it cannot give you peace. Control may have given you a way to brace yourself, but it cannot heal the wound beneath the bracing. Never trust is not wisdom. Never rest is not devotion. Never need help is not strength. Never say no is not love. Never be misunderstood is not humility. Never release control is not safety. I am not angry that you made agreements in pain. I am not shaming the child in you who was trying to feel safe. I am not condemning the weary heart that created rules because it did not know how else to survive. I am coming now as Father, Healer, Refuge, and Truth. I am coming to loosen what fear tied. I am coming to show you that the agreement that once felt necessary has become a chain around your peace. Letting go is not loss. It is returning the weight to the hands strong enough to carry it. Surrender is not you becoming careless. Surrender is you becoming honest about who is God. Release is not abandonment. Release is trust. When you place the burden back into my hands, you are not giving it to emptiness. You are giving it to the one who sees the beginning and the end, the hidden motive and the final outcome, the wound and the healing, the closed door and the new road. So speak with me now, not loudly if your voice is tired, not perfectly if your heart trembles. Speak honestly. Say, Father, I renounce the agreement that fear must guide me. I renounce the belief that I am only safe when I am in control. I renounce the vow that I must keep watching, proving, pleasing, carrying, and preventing everything. I renounce the rule that says I cannot rest until every outcome is secured. I renounce the lie that letting go means losing what matters. Say, I receive your peace over my mind. I receive your peace over my body. I receive your peace over my home. I receive your peace over my decisions. I receive your peace over the places where fear taught me to brace, perform, rehearse, and control. I belong to you. My future belongs to you. My relationships belong to you. My unanswered questions belong to you. My need to be understood, chosen, protected, and safe belongs to you. My beloved child, this is where the hidden habit begins to break at the root. Not because you became stronger than fear in your own power, but because you stopped agreeing with it as your guide. The agreement is being exposed. The altar is being built. The burden is no longer hiding behind your responsibility. Bring it now. Bring the habit, the fear, the vow, the ache, the need to control, and place it before me. In the prayer that comes next, we will turn this exposed place into surrender, and my peace will be invited to rule again. My beloved child, bring it to me now. Bring the burden out of the hidden room. Bring the habit out of the shadows. Bring the fear that has been speaking too loudly, the pressure that has been pulling too hard, the wound that has been guarding itself through control, and the tired place in you that has not known how to stop. Do not come with perfect words. Do not wait until your emotions are arranged. Do not clean up the ache before you bring it to me. Come as you are. Come with open hands. Come with the truth. Say this slowly with me. Father, I come before you with a tired but willing heart. I do not come pretending I have carried this well. I do not come hiding behind responsibility, strength, maturity, or busyness. I come honestly. I come with the hidden habit that has been stealing my peace. I come with the places where I have tried to control outcomes that belong to you. I come with the conversations I have rehearsed in fear. I come with the false assignments I picked up because I was afraid of disappointing people. I come with the pressure I answered before I asked whether you were leading me. I come with the old wounds I have been protecting by watching, bracing, pleasing, explaining, and controlling. My child, do not rush this confession. This is not shame, this is mercy. Conviction is not rejection. It is my light entering the room where fear has been making decisions. I am not exposing this to embarrass you. I am exposing it to free you. I am not pointing to the hidden habit because I want to condemn you. I am pointing to it because it has taken enough from your mind, your body, your sleep, your relationships, your joy, and your ability to hear me clearly. Now say, Father, forgive me for the places where I obeyed fear more quickly than your voice. Forgive me for treating panic like wisdom. Forgive me for letting anxiety become my counselor. Forgive me for carrying what you never assigned to me, for answering what pressure demanded, for trying to secure what only your hands can hold. Forgive me for rehearsing disaster instead of returning to your presence. Forgive me for believing I was unsafe unless I could control the outcome. Forgive me for making peace depend on people, responses, explanations, timing, approval, and certainty. And hear me, my beloved child, forgiveness is not far from you. My mercy is not reluctant. I do not turn away from a surrendered heart. I receive the tired truth you bring. I receive the trembling yes. I receive the confession that comes with tears, silence, or a whisper. I wash what fear touched. I cover what shame tried to name. I restore what exhaustion tried to steal. Say, Father, let your peace come over my mind. Let your peace quiet the thoughts that keep running in circles. Let your peace stand guard over the place where I keep imagining what could go wrong. Let your peace cover my body, my chest, my stomach, my shoulders, my hands, my breath, and every place that has been tense for too long. Let your peace speak to my nervous system and remind it that I am not alone, not abandoned, not responsible for everything, not trapped in the old cycle anymore. Let your peace fill my home. Let it enter the rooms where I have worried, cried, paced, checked, waited, and tried to hold myself together. Let your peace cover my sleep. Let the night no longer become a meeting place for fear. Let my bed become a place of surrender, not rehearsal. Let my rest become obedience, not guilt. Let my mornings begin with your voice before the demands of the day begin naming me. Father, let your peace cover my relationships. Teach me to love without carrying what belongs to another person. Teach me to care without controlling. Teach me to pray without rescuing. Teach me to set boundaries without shame. Teach me to stop confusing someone else's discomfort with my disobedience. Let your peace cover my decisions. Let me stop choosing from panic. Let me pause long enough to hear you. Let me stop chasing certainty when you are calling me to trust. Now speak this renunciation with me, not as a performance, but as an act of surrender. I break agreement with fear. I break agreement with false responsibility. I break agreement with people-pleasing. I break agreement with anxious control. I break agreement with the belief that I must keep everyone okay in order to be safe. I break agreement with the habit of rehearsing pain before it happens. I break agreement with every pressure that demands my peace as payment. I break agreement with every hidden rule that says I cannot rest until everything is fixed. I break agreement with every habit that has stolen my peace. My child, let the words settle. Something is being placed back into my hands. Something that lived too long in your chest is being released. Something that called itself protection is losing authority. Fear does not get to be your shepherd. Panic does not get to be your prophet. Guilt does not get to be your master. Control does not get to be your refuge. I am your refuge. I am your keeper. I am the one who neither sleeps nor turns away. Now declare your new obedience. Say, Father, by your grace, I will pause before panic. I will pray before responding. I will breathe before obeying pressure. I will rest without guilt. I will set boundaries without shame. I will surrender what belongs to you. I will not keep touching what you have asked me to release. I will not keep feeding the thought that drains me. I will not call fear wisdom. I will not call control love. I will not call exhaustion faithfulness. I will return to you before I return to the old cycle. My beloved child, I bless you now with guarded peace. Peace at the door of your mind. Peace at the gate of your attention. Peace over your words before they are spoken. Peace over your silence, when silence is obedience. Peace over your yes. Peace over your no. Peace over the tender places that are learning they do not have to brace anymore. May your ears become sensitive again to my gentle voice. May my whisper become clearer than the alarm. May my presence become nearer than the pressure. May you know when to speak and when to wait, when to step forward and when to step back, when to carry and when to release. The exposed place is now a surrendered place. The surrendered place can become a ruled place. And where my peace rules, fear no longer gets to sit on the throne. My beloved child, you are not leaving this message the same way you entered it. You came with a weight you may not have known how to name, but now light has touched it. You came with a habit hiding behind responsibility, but now mercy has exposed it. You came with pressure in your chest, movement in your mind, and quiet exhaustion in your spirit, but now you have placed the burden back into my hands. Do not pick it up again just because it feels familiar. Do not return to the old cycle just because it knows your name. I am calling you forward. Hear me clearly. That habit is not your name. Anxiety is not your master. Control is not your refuge. Fear is not your covering. Panic is not your counselor. Guilt is not your shepherd. Peace is not beyond your reach. Peace is not for someone stronger, someone calmer, someone more spiritual, someone who never struggled the way you have struggled. My peace is for you. My peace is available here. My peace is not fragile when it is guarded by obedience. Walk forward gently, but walk forward. Do not make this moment only something you felt. Let it become something you obey. Tomorrow, pause once before reacting, just once. Before the reply, before the explanation, before the apology that fear demands, before the yes that comes from guilt. Stop and breathe with me. Release one false burden. Name one thing you have been carrying that I never assigned to you, and place it back in my hands. Close one access point, one thread, one page, one late-night loop, one conversation, one habit, one doorway where fear keeps entering. Then choose one act of rest. Sleep without rehearsing. Sit without proving. Pray without performing. Let your body learn that you are safe with me. My child, do not despise the small obedient step. One pause can interrupt a cycle. One surrendered burden can open space in your soul. One boundary can protect what I am healing. One act of rest can preach trust to the places in you that have been bracing for too long. You do not have to fix your entire life tonight. You only have to follow me in the next faithful step. And now, if these words have named what has been stealing your peace, write this declaration where you can see it, and, if you are willing, place it in the comments as an act of surrender. Lord, I surrender the hidden habit and receive your peace. Let it be more than a sentence. Let it be a line drawn in the ground. Let it be a turning of the heart. Let it be your agreement with truth instead of fear. If you need prayer, leave your prayer request in the comments. Do not carry silently what can be brought into the light. Let others stand with you for peace, freedom, boundaries, and renewed trust. Let prayer surround the places where you are learning to release, learning to rest, learning to stop managing what belongs in my hands. And if this message helped you recognize what was stealing your peace, subscribe to this channel and return when your heart needs to be reminded of my voice. Like this video as an act of agreement with the surrender you have made today. Share it with someone who has been quietly carrying too much, someone who smiles while tired, someone who keeps holding what I am asking them to release. My beloved child, walk forward now, not in panic, but in peace, not in striving, but in trust. Not with clenched hands, but with a surrendered heart. May the peace of God guard your heart, quiet your thoughts, strengthen your obedience, and lead you out of the old cycle into freedom.